This is the USS New Jersey. It is about 3 football fields long. It has about 50 tons of displacement and is 180 feet high. It has three 16-inch turrets. Iowa-class ships. Originally planned to build 6 Iowa-class ships, the USS New Jersey was one of the 4 that ended up being built. The other 2 ships were never built and were scrapped for parts. There are 6 Iowa-class ships. The USS Iowa, also known as the BB-61, built in New York. The USS New Jersey, built in Philadelphia, also known as the BB-62. The USS Missouri, the BB-63, built in New York. And the USS Wisconsin, BB-64, built in Philadelphia. There were also the Illinois and Kentucky, which were scrapped for parts. These were the 2 ships that were never built, the USS Illinois and the USS Kentucky. Construction of the BB-62. The battleship started construction on September 16, 1940, and finished construction in 1942, where they first launched the ship in the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. This is the USS New Jersey's keel being laid, and this is the USS New Jersey right before it launched in 1942. World War II. The battleship was in Okinawa for 5 days, where they had non-stop fighting, according to Admiral Badger. The ship then turned their flag towards the USS Iowa, indicating it was time to return. Known for his aggressive fighting spirit, colorful personality, and interest in the welfare of the common sailor during World War II, William Boo Halsey led Allied forces through the desperate dark days following Pearl Harbor to an eventual Allied victory over Imperial Japan in 1945. This is Admiral William Boo Halsey. This is Admiral Badger. 1955, the Vietnam War starts. That was 60 years ago. The USS New Jersey was deployed April 1st, 1969, 14 years after the start of the Vietnam War. In World War II, Snyder had been on the battleship Pennsylvania and brought some of the old tactics to the new. But he was also a very non-strict captain, letting the men not wear their hats when they were topside, and also going to the bakery in the wee hours in the morning and complimenting those who had the night shift. Also, every month he decided to cut the crewmen who had birthdays. He cut their cake, showing that he also respected his crew and wanted to spend as much time as he could with them. This is Captain Snyder on the ship. The ship was decommissioned on February 8th, 1991. Important dates to remember. In 1940, the keel was laid at Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. In 1942, it was launched. In 1943, it was commissioned for World War II. In 1948, it was decommissioned, and in 1950, it was recommissioned for Korea. In 1957, it was decommissioned, and in 1968, it was recommissioned for service in Vietnam after being modernized. In 1982, it was reactivated and modernized and recommissioned for service as President Reagan's 600-ship Navy. In 1991, it was decommissioned. In 1999, it was classed as a Category X, ready for donation. In 1999, it begins a follow voyage home to New Jersey, and in 2001, it arrives at her final destination on the Camden waterfront in New Jersey and opens to the public for tours as a museum. All current-day battleships were based off of the Dreadnought design. Even though battleships are not being built anymore due to the USS Iowa's incident, all battleships were based off of the design and the shape of the USS Dreadnought.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
There's no CAD-CAM. Very few people even owned slide rules in the late 1930s when this ship was put on paper. And to assemble a ship 900 feet long, 108 feet wide, and do it right on the first try It's an engineering marvel. I mean, look around. I mean, there's just so many systems. And they talk about, you know, that being the greatest generation of Americans. They were right.
Fire the gun, sir. Just bring the handle back. The wire down the shelf is on some pawls. The hydraulic pushes over again. You can push a shell up.
Uses gears and wedges and what they call resolvers and everything to determine where to aim 16-inch guns, fire them, and hit the target. If it misses, you put a little adjustment in, and it then hits the target. It even compensates for high seas where the ship was rocking and rolling. This is where you put the inputs in, ship's course, target bearing, target speed, target course, even wind speed, wind direction. Down here there's controls for what size the powder bags are, because that makes a difference. Over behind Matt.
This is the battleship's gun room where they still have all the working guns. The battleship also has pictures of all the leaders on the ship. It has 16-inch turrets. It was the first ship with a Tomahawk operational missile. This is the 16-inch gun chamber where they would launch. This is the first part of the battleship. The middle part of the battleship. And the end of the battleship, which could hold 2 helicopters and a plane. Thank you to the Battleship New Jersey for letting me aboard the ship, and to all my interviewees for helping me with this video. A huge thanks to my parents for driving me, and all the Battleships Radio Club for letting me onto the battleship.